In terms of foreign technology coming into America, we've got to have a systemic approach to make sure that we can ban or prohibit it when necessary. We've got 100 million Americans on TikTok 90 minutes a day. They are taking data from Americans, not keeping it safe. But what worries me more with TikTok is that this can be a propaganda tool.
U.S. lawmakers stepping up the push to ban TikTok. President Biden closing in on an executive order to restrict U.S. investments in China tech. The administration writing in a report seen by Bloomberg that the objective is, quote, preventing U.S. capital and expertise from being exploited in ways that threaten U.S. national security while not placing an undue burden on U.S. investors and businesses. Team coverage starts right now with Bloomberg's Anne-Marie and Katie Lyons down in D.C. AMH, talk to us about what's on the table here.
Well, Jonathan, you just see Washington continue to address the Chinese Communist Party and adding more tools to their toolbox. One comes from the White House and the other is from the other side of Pennsylvania, coming from lawmakers. So first you have the White House. This is really a long time coming. Reports for months about this executive order. But what would it do is restrict investment into certain parts of the Chinese economy. These parts, the administration think that this advanced technology that this investment would go to could enhance either the Chinese Communist Party military or as well as their intelligence capabilities. And we may get more details about it today because Biden will be unveiling his budget on Thursday, this week. And then the second part of this is just another bill that either it names TikTok or not, it will go after TikTok. You have Senator Warner on Fox News on Sunday saying that this has broad bipartisan support. He's working with South Dakota Senator John Thune, and this would basically ban this kind of technology in the United States. But this has to be the sixth or seventh bill that is going after TikTok. So at some point, one of these, you imagine, is going to get across the finish line.
Well, I just wonder how narrow this might be. Anne-Marie, just reading that language, technologies that could enhance China's military and intelligence capabilities. Based on what they've been saying, is TikTok part of that?
Well, that's a great question. If you think about intelligence capabilities, TikTok could potentially be part of that because many view it as the Chinese Communist Party is able to, because TikTok is owned by ByteDance, a Chinese company, is able to gather intel and data on these users in America. But we should note, Jonathan, and at the end of the month, the TikTok CEO will be in Congress. He will have a hearing and he will be testifying. They are spending billions of dollars really on this project called Project Texas. They're working with Oracle. What they want to do is make sure they can show CFIUS, U.S. lawmakers, that there's a way that they could still remain active in the U.S. and keep the U.S. data safe in the United States. And they're working with the European Union as well for something similar in Europe.
And Katie, two words here that stand out: capital, expertise. That's not just money, that's talent too.
Yeah, exactly, John. But the money, of course, is ultimately a good deal of what matters to the markets. And when you talk about technologies that could limit the advanced military and intelligence capabilities of China, this could reach into a lot of different areas of Chinese technology, including chips and chip makers, makers of manufacturing equipment, anything related to AI and ChatGPT and quantum computing as well. So as a result, you are seeing this show up in the ADRs of some of those companies, the likes of Alibaba and Baidu, BDD, all down this morning, even about 2% in the case of Baidu and PDD. And when you look at the Golden Dragon China Index, which of course tracks a basket of those stocks, it is down about 1.3%. All of these, of course, listed here in the U.S. John, we had seen years ago a big boom in IPOs of Chinese technology companies here stateside. Alibaba, of course, back in 2014. That has started to trickle off. In 2022, there was only about $500 million worth of IPOs here. It has gotten a lot more difficult due to the headwinds around geopolitics and, of course, a lot of questions around auditing as well. This now would add another layer on that investment difficulty and adds another layer, perhaps, of difficulty for these stocks because we know, John, over the last several years, these have been underperformers. Yes, the Golden Dragon China Index is up about 70% from its low back in October, but still over the last 2 years, it's down roughly 57%. And Chinese stocks as a basket dramatically underperforming the rest of the world, down about 40% over that time compared to the All Country World Index, down just about 2.3%, John.
Wow. AMH, I just want to give you the final word. Away from the equity market just for a moment, just on the politics. We heard from the former President Donald Trump over the weekend campaigning. We heard from the governor of Florida, I won't say campaigning, but certainly on the media tour still, ahead of potentially announcing he's going to make a run. Is China going to be a big feature of this upcoming election in 18 months' time?
Well, it absolutely is. What did you see this morning with the Daily Mail? An opinion piece from the former President Trump talking about COVID and how he wanted to go after the World Health Organization because he thought they were deferential to China in the beginning of this, because also we've had recent reporting coming from the Department of Energy that they say this was a lab leak potentially. So, Jonathan, China, whether or not it's COVID, whether or not it's investment, whether or not it's the data, many lawmakers say they are harvesting in this quote-unquote Trojan horse, the United States, through TikTok. China will become this #1 enemy for lawmakers, not just in the GOP, though. This is going to be as well for President Biden, who's expected to make his campaign as well. He's going to show all that he's done while he was in power to try to make sure that they are competing with China and keeping American data and money safe.